Yes, good evening, people. Welcome back to the channel. 12th Man is back. It's an Arsenal show tonight, and I thought what we'd do is look towards tomorrow's game, go through the press conference, look at the transfer news, and talk a little bit of the updates of what we've seen in the day. Please make sure you do me a favor and hit the like button and hit subscribe as well. We are flying now towards the big 40. 40k is the next target. You guys have been amazing. You've been hitting like and subscribe, and all of a sudden we flew past 30, and it's like, wow, we're actually looking towards 40 already. This is mad. So you guys are insane. Please make sure you do those two buttons now. Hit the like button and the subscribe button. Please make sure you're following Reality Raffles. Obviously, they had their draw tonight for the stadium and football experience. So please make sure if you do or are lucky enough to win that, then please make sure you do let me know and let me know what game you're picking. Reality Raffles on socials, people. Unbelievable opportunities to win some prizes. So please make sure that we do that. Also, make sure that you are now scanning the QR code. You don't have long left. It is only a week to go, and I would love to see as many of you loyal fans in person. It would be fantastic. All you got to do is scan the QR code or click the link in the description and then get your ticket. It is a ticket only event, so please make sure you're there. You don't want to miss it. You've got special guests, you've got a panel, you've got lead judges in the house, myself, Sophie Nicolau will be there from Highbury Squad. You've got Dan Lawless, Deji, Don and Dee that are all going to be part of the panel as well. It's going to be a brilliant night. There'll be a meet and a greet, there'll be a Q&A section, and of course there'll be a panel show that you can watch live. So please do come along. It is not being shown live on YouTube, people. So it will be an exclusive, live and exclusive for you. So please make sure that you have got your ticket if you haven't done so already. There's a lot of people that are saying, how do we get the tickets? How do we come and see you? Well, there you go. Scan the QR code and you will be a part of it. So please make sure that you are. Be good to see as many of you there as possible. Let me know if you've got your tickets in the chat. Big up to everybody that's in the chat as well. Great to see so many of you and there's some new people. Big up to Jonathan, William, Conrad, Guna LB. We've got Nobby in the house. We've got Boss, Ryan. We've got Mum in the house, Carol. Who else have we got? We have got Jay. I hope you're well, mate. Football Capo. Absolute ledge, man. Great to see you, my bro. I hope you're doing well. Big up to Ash. Big up to Fane. Big up to Benjamin. We've got Mike in the house. Hannah, I hope you're well. Are you going to win the league, Hannah? Are you confident yet that you're going to win the league? I think you probably will. Big up to John. Big up to Pete. And big up to Akshat. We've got Lambo UK. Big up to Lawrence. Hope you're well. Johan in the chat as well. And everybody else as well. Please make sure you've smashed the like and the subscribe on this. You really are making this channel absolutely fly. And people always give me credit for it. You guys deserve the credit as well, you know, because let's be real, you guys are the one that's turning up. Otherwise, it would be me talking to a computer on my own, which I could do, to be fair, because I can talk football all day long. But let's just be real. It's for you guys. You guys keep coming back for whatever reason. So you must be liking what I'm doing. So if you do like what I do, hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll get closer towards 40k. Listen, we're going to go through quite a little bit today in relation to the Aston Villa game tomorrow, which I will be at. So please do make sure that you come and say hello. It'll be in Lock 5. If you want to come and say hello, that's where we are normally before the game. So come and say hello. If you do bump into me, I have so many people that say, I saw you the other week, but I didn't want to come and say hello. Why? I'm not going to bite. I'm going to shake your hand, ask who you are, and I'll say thanks for the support. So always make sure you do come up and say hello, people. I will always be great to see as many of you as possible. So hopefully for those that are going to be there at the game tomorrow, I will see you there. So big up to all of you. Let's go through the press conference today of Arteta, because there was a press conference. Very interesting in a couple of things that he said that I thought definitely needed highlighting. So I thought we'd start there. We'll go into the team news. We'll go into transfer news. And then we'll close. So let's take a look at what Arteta is saying. He was asked, this is what makes me laugh, first of all. The first question is about Haaland signing a new deal at City. Like, who cares? Like, why does Mikel Arteta care about Erling Haaland signing a 10-year contract with Manchester City? He said, is that the news? If they're willing to commit to a player for that long, it's because they're really happy. So it's good news for them. Perfect way to answer that. 10 years that Haaland wants to commit his future at the club. I would say that is really strange for a number of reasons. First of all, he's committed to the club long term because he knows that they're no longer guilty. They are not going to get anything but a fine for non-compliance stuff. So I've accepted that Manchester City are going to be fine, so everyone can stop with that rubbish. Who's this idiot in here? Right. Oh my God, some people are really strange, aren't they? Wow. What a strange person. See you later, Rolly. Anyway, so he's staying there for 10 years now, apparently, at Manchester City. They're obviously innocent in his eyes, because otherwise, why would you do that? Um, he's clearly seeing this as the club where he believes he's going to actually have an opportunity of winning stuff. And what I believe is Real Madrid, Barcelona. Does he not dream of that one day? Now, I'm not saying that Manchester City is not the place to stay and win trophies at, because clearly it is, right? And Kevin De Bruyne and Sergio Aguero and Yaya Toure and David Silva have all proven that. So it's not like I'm sitting there going, why would he want to stay there? They don't win anything. I just one day saw Haaland potentially playing for Real Madrid, and maybe he will. But I'm looking at it now thinking, if you actually did sign that contract and stayed, you'd be 34 by the time you left. And I just think, wow, one club now is all you want. I thought he would have dreamt of being a Galactico one day, but clearly not. He wants to stay at Manchester City. If you go to Real Madrid, guaranteed La Liga and Champions League. Manchester City, you're not guaranteed that at the moment. So look, I'm not saying Man City are in the doldrums by any means. So I just think it's a strange. I believed Haaland would probably stay at Manchester City till he was around 27, 28, and then take a look at where things are. But to sign a 10-year contract, wow, he must be in love with the club. That's all I can say. So fair play to him. If he's happy, that's all that matters. Anyway, back to Arsenal. On our injured players, he said we have a few decisions to make this afternoon with the medical staff to understand whether they are in the best condition for this game or the next one. So we'll decide that. Any long-term casualties close to a comeback? He said not so far. There were rumours that Tomiyasu was going to come back, but how many times have you heard that? That's definitely something that you do hear. We have, however, had some news about someone in training who did not get involved in the training today, and that is, of course, William Saliba. Now, he did come off holding his hamstring against Spurs, if you remember. The breaking news earlier on today broke that Saliba is not spotted in training and was seen with a slight hamstring issue near the end of the game as Arsenal beat Spurs. So obviously he is the only doubt really from the fit team that we had that had the Spurs game. Look, I hope Saliba's not out. What I will say is I don't think it's a guarantee that he's going to be dropped. I don't think it's a guarantee that he'll be rested, or I don't think it's a guarantee he'll be injured. But I think they're leaving it till last minute, it seems. Late fitness test, see what's happening with that. I personally do believe if it is a knock, I don't think it'll be long out. We cannot lose him. We cannot lose him at all. So he's the one that we need to keep wrapped up. I genuinely don't know what happens if he gets injured at the moment. It'll probably have to be Timber at right-sided centre-back and Partey at right-back with the injuries we've got. I just don't know. Unless he plays Kivior on the right side with Gabriel and keeps Timber at right-back, which probably is the better option. Yeah, not wanting to think about what happens with Saliba if he potentially does get injured. That's just not something I want to be getting involved in, if I'm honest. Our most important player, in my opinion, right now is William Saliba. I honestly believe that. I think he's our best player. I think he's the one that just takes us to that next level. And a lot of people are giving Gabriel credit. As far as I'm concerned, he deserves it. But what I will say is Gabriel definitely isn't the same when Saliba is not next to him. And Saliba, funny enough, is definitely not elite level when he's not alongside Gabriel. They really do complement each other. So that's what I think. He was asked on the impact the win over Spurs had on the players. He said he loved the attitude that the team played with. We had some big performances and it was a beautiful night for us to celebrate in front of our people. We're moving to the next one now because it's a big one again against Villa. And that's exactly what I said after that game. Let's move forward now and let's try and look to the next game and let's not relax. We have to get wins now in every single game. They are all must-win games. There's no more Could we drop 5 more games? Could we drop 3 more games? What happens if we drop 4 or 5 more? We're not going to win the league. I think we can afford. I honestly believe we can afford to drop 2 more games. That's it in 17. That means we've got to be faultless now for 15. We've got to win 15 games, in my opinion. And one of those, I think, has to be at Anfield so that we can catch up with Liverpool. So I think it's a massive ask, but this is the task we've got ahead. This is the task we've got ahead. He was asked on whether we have the perfect rest of the season to win the title. We're going to try to be as good as we possibly can tomorrow night, and that's the objective. They're a really good side, and that's why they beat us last season and proved as well when we played at Villa Park that they're very difficult opponents. So we'll prepare in the best way to win. Look, they're a really good side, Aston Villa. I've got a hell of a lot of time for them, to be fair, and I think what Unai Emery has done has been genius. Absolutely superb. And that Villa side have really backed him. The board and the ownership have got together and put everyone on one page. They seem quite happy. They seem quite kind of aware that, you know, what they've got is the right guy in Unai Emery. And a lot of people have said to me, would you rather have kept Unai Emery and back? Unai Emery is a better manager than Mikel Arteta, but unfortunately, it's the wrong time for him. It was the wrong structure. There was no way he was going to succeed with the failure ahead of him at the time. Even Gazidis Hosfami, you had players like Graus and Leahy, you had people like Kia Jarapchkan, who was very close to them, which was why we were getting players like Willian and linked with Thiago Silva's and David Luiz's and players like that. So for me, there was a different structure, but I have to be respectful to what Emery's done at Villa. I think he's taken them to a new level. And I know people are saying they're not as great this season, but they are in the Champions League and they've put themselves right up into the European and top 4 fight. So I do think if they was to get top 4 this season, that would be a good season for them in the league. Of course, they want to try and cap that off with a trophy as well if they can, though. Look, good side. I think they've got a phenomenal goalkeeper, which we know a lot about. Apparently, their team's going to be Matty Cash and Luca Dean as the fullbacks. I think we can get at both of them. Although I think they're good going forward defensively, I definitely don't think they're great. The problem we've got is our width is not so good so far. We've got players that are a little bit out of confidence. Martinelli and Sterling, I expect, will probably play either side, maybe Trossard. So hopefully they can get in behind them. Konza and Mings are apparently the two they're going for at centre-half. Now, Mings definitely is one we can target. Konza's a good player, though. In midfield, I think they said it's probably going to be Kamara, Jacob Ramsey, Tielemans, and Rodgers. And then up top, they've got Watkins, probably Duran. I imagine they don't seem to play both of them, which is weird. But they've got a really good midfield. They're absolutely stacked. And I've got to be honest with you, right? I actually think there's a lot of their players that would actually get into our team right now. That's how good it is. You know, Emi Martinez could be debatable. Not really any of the back line, but certainly in midfield. The way Tielemans is playing, he's definitely getting ahead of the likes of what we've got in our midfield. I think when you look at what Watkins and Duran have been doing, they're definitely getting in our front, in our forward line. And their wide players probably would as well. Look, we've got over 500 people in here. Come on, people. Hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. 2 buttons that are free. Do that now, and we will get well over 100 likes. Let's get to 250, please. Let's try and get to 250. Who can get us to 250? Hit the like button if you think Arsenal will win tomorrow. Come on, people. Okay. Where are we next? Let's carry on with this. Whether we can challenge for the title without new signings. This was the bit that I was really interested. This was really interesting. In fact, it was these 3 questions here. Let's hone in on these 3 questions, shall we? Because this is what is definitely interesting. He was asked on whether we can challenge for the title without new signings. He says, at the moment, we don't have them. We're actively trying to find the best solution, but we'll have to wait and see what we can do. So basically what he's saying there is, we've got what we've got. We are trying to find the best solution, but we're going to have to wait and see. In other words, are you happy? No. Would you like someone? Yeah. Do you think you're going to get someone? We'll have to wait and see. That's what I took to that. And then this was interesting. On the profile of player we're looking for, he said, that's not something I'm going to discuss here. Obviously, we've lost 2 massive players for us in the front line, and we need some support there. Now, this is a cry for help, in my opinion. This is him saying, I need help. I need support. I need players. I've got Ethan out, Saka out, Jesus out. We've got other injuries to the squad and have had most of the season. I need you to come and help me now, Josh. You've got to give me some money. You've got to let me go and sign someone. And we'll come back to that soon. Declan Rice basically said we played Kieran Tierney on the left. We've got so many injuries. That, again, is a cry for come and help me. And I think they would not have done that if there would have been an opportunity for them to just say, do you know what? I'm calm. Kroenke's will back us. We'll get the players we need. We don't need to call out in press conferences or in interviews that we need players. But because Rice and Arteta have both done that, it makes me think that perhaps the Kroenkes aren't interested in supporting as much as we thought they were. Well, some of us. I didn't think they wanted to support anyway, but that's just me. So on the profile of player we're looking for, we need some support there. That says it all. Then he was asked on the contracts expiring for a number of our players. We have certain situations where our contracts are expiring. We can renew those contracts like we've done in the past. And we're always actively evolving the squad and understanding what the players want to do when they finish our contract together. And we have to be prepared. We have to be prepared, but surely you're prepared already, right? Because Jorginho and Partey are coming to an end. And it looks as though we're looking to try and get Zubimendi in. So I would say that they have prepared that potentially at least one, if not both of them, are leaving. Now I think it depends on next move in the summer or in this January transfer window. If we were to get someone, who is that position going to be? Is it going to be Rice and Zubimendi as the sixes? And then they go and get somebody in the 8. So they'll have potentially the new player and Marino in the 8, Rice and Zubimendi in the 6, and then in the 10. I still feel like we need somebody else on the 10 as well to cover for Odegaard. There might be a bit more on that later. Okay. Getting players up for every match, not just derbies. He said when we play every 3 days, that's the performance that we want. Performances have been there, but after it's about the results. A few things didn't go our way during our first few minutes of the match, especially because the dominance that we showed going 1-0 down was tough mentally. I think the team showed incredible resilience, patience and composure to overcome the situation and win the game. And I actually agree with that. When we went 1-0 down, the ground was flat. It was absolutely electric until that point, and Son really did kill it. The good thing was, it didn't really stay flat for that long because I just felt that we were the better side and we were dominant in possession. And every time we went forward, the crowd were up for it. So I will say this. I actually do believe that the fans and the players deserve a lot of credit for that. And they bounced back. On if they're thriving on the pressure of chasing down Liverpool, he says he thinks so. If you want to be fighting for the top trophies with the top teams for 11 months like we've been doing the last 2.5 years now, you have to enjoy these kind of moments. Circumstances or challenges and the pressure that comes with it is the beauty of it. We're playing to win, and that's exactly where we want to be. He was asked on whether he wants his players to feel that pressure, and he says, I think the pressure comes from within. Nobody can put pressure on you. And I kind of disagree. I think it's the wrong way, and if that's the case, it's because you're probably not doing or preparing the right way. I think you have to thrive to be the best that you possibly can, and there's no pressure than that, in my opinion, when you have these daily commitments with yourself to achieve that. I understand what he's trying to say there, but people can put pressure on you. There's no way they don't look at the results. There's no way they're not looking at what happens at the Brentford GTEC Stadium. There's no way they're not looking at that. Of course they are. And that could put pressure on stuff, and see what we do. On facing Aston Villa, he said, we know the difficulty of the team that they are. They're performing well. They have an excellent coach, good players, good organisation, and we're so used to that in the Premier League. It's not very different every 3 days, so tomorrow we're going to have to be really good again to win the game. Saying the best team without winning the title. In that case, I refer to the stats. When you look at all the stats that are relevant to do that, that's what the stats have said. The reality is that we weren't because someone else won the title. So that's something. There's a margin there that we still need to improve on and be better. So he started to do well at the end, but he kind of was a bit pathetic at the start. Now, if this is what I would say about Mikel Arteta, I'm all for answering the questions how you want to, and I'm not no manager. I'm not going to be no media trained person to explain it. But would you not have rather there with this question, right? Let's read it out again. We are the best team without winning the title. That is a stupid statement because you're not the best team because you didn't win the title. The best team wins the title. So what he said was, or should have said, in my opinion, was the stats say that we are, but in my opinion, we're not because we did not win the league. Now, instead of saying that, he's got an arse about face way of saying it. He refers to the stats, basically being cheeky to say, yep, stats say we're the best team in the league. It's irrelevant what the stats say, but the reality is we weren't the best team because someone else won the title. So that's something. There's a margin there we still need to improve on to be better. So he's kind of like got himself back to say, yeah, I know the stats said it. And then he's thought, actually, no, we weren't the best team. Let's just be real. We weren't. And I think that's good. So On Renee being appointed as Arsenal women's permanent head coach, I'm very happy. She's done a phenomenal job since she's joined the role, and I'm very happy for her in the club as well, because promoting someone that was already with us is a very strong signal and a good decision, I must say. I'm very happy for her. Okay, well, that's nice. On the reaction at the training ground from Wednesday's win, it was very good. They're really happy in the dressing room, really happy the next day. And then we start with Villa, and then that's it. The enjoyment or the bad mood that we can in with when you don't win, it has to disappear immediately, because the focus has to be on the next match and how we prepare in the best possible way. And I do agree with that. I think there's definitely a case of, look, I know you're upset that we've lost and we're out the cups. We now need to focus on the North London derby. I know you're happy, but look, it's Aston Villa now. We've got to be focused. That's the way we've got to be, people. That's the way we have to be now. We really do. On how important momentum is. Do you know what? I think momentum and confidence is two of the things that you absolutely need to win any trophy or title. Like, I really do genuinely believe that. I think it is so important. So that's something that I think we need to try and gain now. We wouldn't be in the position that we're in if we hadn't been stable. When you look at the run in the Premier League in the last 11 to 13 matches, it speaks for itself. Not only the results, but the performances, doing it again and again every 3 days in different competitions. That's what we want to achieve. He keeps saying how happy he is with the performance and how it's every 3 days that we keep playing. Look, he's stating the obvious because we're playing every 3 days, but the performances haven't been really good, like he's saying. I don't know why he keeps saying how proud he is of people playing every 3 days. You knew what this was coming. He's making it out like it's something that we can't do nothing about. We're doing 3 days here and we never saw it coming. Of course we did. I don't really get why he keeps banging on about that, to be fair. But anyway, on how important this week was in the title race, it's important when we were able to win and capitalise on other teams dropping points. That is absolutely spot on from Mikel. Absolutely spot on, because I already saw people getting excited because Liverpool had dropped points. And I said, look, we need to beat Tottenham now. We can't be one of these teams that says we need to beat Spurs because Liverpool have dropped. Well, no, we just need to beat Spurs. We need to beat Villa because Liverpool might know we need to beat Villa, not because someone else. Concentrate on us. We need to win our games. That is it. That is literally it. I don't know. It looks like there's been a few examples of that. He's talking about longer term contracts is where football's heading. So they're obsessed with this Haaland thing. Maybe we start with managers with 10-year contracts and then with physios and then with journalists. He's obviously being tongue in cheek there. On whether he would like a 10-year contract, he said, at the moment, I have enough. How important working on set pieces is. Conceded a goal from a set piece the other day. It's a balance. If you score and you concede, at the end of the balance is 0. So that's how it is. We have a coach who's responsible for that and many other things that he does. It's a small part of his job that he does really well, and players follow with some good momentum. Now it's about maintaining it, attacking in the defensive part of it as well. Yeah, look, they've dried up a bit, haven't they? Obviously, we scored again at the weekend. That's the first one I can think of for a while. So, yeah, a lot of people, every time I'm going to the Emirates at the moment, are saying, what's happened to our corners? And then, of course, Gabriel pops up yet again. So hopefully he does it again tomorrow. Everything that we do is shared. Ideas for today started many years ago, and it's constantly in development. What we're doing in now, I'm sure in 3 or 6 or 9 months is not going to work. So you constantly have to evolve. It's talking about new ideas for set pieces. Let's be real. There are going to come a time where Arsenal become found out. So we do have to be in a position where we can not just replicate the same corner. I do think we do that quite well. I don't really care who takes the corners. Declan Rice and Saka are the 2 best. But at the moment, there's obviously change. Odegaard and Martinelli and Trossard, and these guys have all taken them of late. I will say this, though. I don't like it when everyone stands at the back of the corner and we put it to the near post. I don't quite get what we're trying to do there. That's the only corner that I've seen that I don't quite get. He's asked what challenges he sets to long-term injured players. This was quite interesting. We've got a lot of them at the moment. We've got Saka, Ethan, Jesus, Tomiyasu. We've had Zinchenko, Party, Tierney, the list goes on. He says, firstly, the main part is a psychological part of how they feel emotionally. I think that's really important because obviously you're going to be absolutely down in the dumps and depressed when you can't get on the pitch because it's what you love. A long time without doing what you love is not easy. I agree. You change routines completely. You're more isolated. You're not in a group, and that takes a while. First of all, give your support to the players' physical condition and they can maintain or improve in relation to their injury. Then use that time as well for others. For example, Bukayo hasn't had any time off for the past 2 seasons. Wow, at least he's recognised that now. A bit too late now, isn't it, when he's injured? I mean, he's definitely been to blame for that for me, Mikel Arteta. There's no way he should have played that many games. There's just no way. To learn about the game and be certain aspects he can still improve and develop. We're doing that, so that was what we try. Basically, he's saying that we need to look after our injured players. Well, we've got quite a few of them, Mikel. Julian Timber on his minutes. It's unbelievable what he's done, especially because he's done it on the right, he's done it on the left as fullback as well, and we're putting huge demands on him. What's the thing when the squad's short and you have quite a lot of injuries like we had? You start to load more on the players, which is not ideal. I must say, look, Jurriën Timber, I think has been unbelievable this season. I think he's been phenomenal. I didn't expect to see Ben White out for a long period of time, but I do believe he's been absolutely outstanding. He really has. Lil Tim says, Dan, how do I become a member? I need to mod you up, to be fair, bro, as well. You should be a mod by now. Dan, how do I become a member? All you need to do is click like, subscribe, and join, and then follow the instructions, my bro. That's literally all you need to do if you would like to become a member and pay a minimal fee each month, which helps the content. So if you would like to do that, people, please feel free. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much for that, Lil Tims, as well. I really appreciate that. We're going to do some super chats in a minute. We're just going to get to the end of this. Where are we? So, yes, here we go. Miles Lewis Skelly, the player who deserves so much credit. So much credit. He says on whether Mikel was involved in changing Lewis Skelly to a left back. He said, when I saw him to give him a chance with the project that he had in the academy, the moment I saw him, the only way I could think was to change his position. I spoke to him and said, I think this is where you're going to have it. I think it fits a lot of his qualities, the way that we play, and it fits because we had necessities in the position. So we started to work on that. He got into it straight away with the personality that he has. I think it's very obvious now that he's doing it. So that is something that he does deserve credit for because he was a midfielder when he came through. And Mikel Arteta had said, look, let's try you at left back. I don't want to be too over the top when I say I get Ashley Cole vibes because he's clearly not going to get to anywhere near the level of Ashley Cole. But he's the last player in that position that come through as a fullback that I got excited about. And I saw vibes in him that I just loved. I loved his fight. I loved his winning passion. I loved his mentality, the desire that he had, the fact that he gave the fans a little bit of stick. I just loved it. I thought it was excellent. Really was. Adapting to the role is not just on the defensive part. Physically, they're very different demands. You're facing wingers a lot of the time in that position. You have to be part of that defense line. You have to know when to release and when not to. When it's on your side, you have to defend the box. And that's something that he wasn't used to. And then all the attacking processes on top of that. So it's quite a lot. He's dealing with that in a great way. Physically as well, he's matured a lot in the last year or so. And it was another great performance. Look, I got to big him up. He was one of my players of the match. Him and Gabriel thought were outstanding alongside Rice. So for me, yeah, big up to Lewis Skelly, man. I think he was outstanding. And clearly his manager's given him a lot of praise. Whether it's changed from want to need in the transfer market, he said the word you mean. Well, obviously, we have more necessity now because of what happened in the last few weeks, and that's obvious. So they're trying to push him. They're trying to make him say, yes, we need players. It's so obvious to everybody that we need players, but Mikel Arteta doesn't want to say that. He just wants to say now it's definitely a need because of the injuries we've got. He's asked on how difficult it is to work in the market when everyone knows that we need a forward. I think it's more a question for Jason Ato. I don't know, but I think we have to do what we think is right and what we can do as well. That's it. It's clear that we'd like to improve the squad, especially with what happened. Can we do it or not? It depends on a lot of factors. So what he's trying to say there is we know we need someone. We're going to try, but we're not going to promise. And I don't know why he's not going to promise. Maybe he just doesn't want to sort of admit that we look in. I mean, he's kind of said what I believed he should say there, to be fair to him. Jason Ato as well, by the way. I mean, we're saying this is a question for him. This guy, what does he do? Well, what has he actually done? Surely he's not been pivotal because it was all on Edu, right? Or was it just Jason Ato all along and now that Edu's gone, Jason Ato's the guy? It's bizarre. Whether Miles Lewis Skelly could get an England call up. Do you know what? I think he could, you know. I know this sounds bizarre, but I think Lewis Hall and Lewis Skelly could be the next two left backs. The next two Lewis left backs. There you go. I like Tariq Mitchell as well, by the way. He said, let him settle where he is first. Talk about the reality he's got in front of him. Stick with that. And I think that's more than enough for now. Good answer. He doesn't think the title race is a two-horse race, Mikel says. I don't think it is. When you look at every game in the Premier League and the margins and how teams are winning football matches, it can go either way. There's 2 or 3 ways you can be talking about something very differently. We're still in January, and it's going to be a long, long run. Fair answer. And lastly, he was asked about the atmosphere against Tottenham. He said it was brilliant. I loved it. I said it before. It's in our hands. We can look and feel sorry about what's happened with injuries or the refs, but what's in our hands, let's make sure that we do it. And I saw a different bite to our crowd, a different body language. We were on top of every ball. We created atmosphere with and without the ball. And we had real purpose. And we were screaming and going into every ball in a different way. And I must say that I loved it. Do you know what? fair play to him there. I don't like the way he's brought up the referees, though. You can never blame referees as being the reason he didn't win a game, in my opinion. When you're blaming them, you've done something wrong. Let's bring up the super chats, man. This comes in from James. He says, I know Richo won't like this, and I'm not so happy to admit it myself, but I think Arteta learned as much from Pep as he did from Moyes. I don't think he can let his team be open at the back to push on. Look, I think he's learned a little bit from everybody. If I'm looking at the analysis of Mikel Arteta so far, I do see a little bit of Arsene Wenger in him. I do. When we play that free-flowing football, I think it looks very nice and attractive. When we decide to do it, I think we do look like the intensity of Pep. Nowhere near his level, but obviously he's learned a lot from it. And I do think that he's taken a little bit from David Moyes, because there's definitely that setting up in a way that is hard to beat. And when we do that, we like, oh, yeah, we've got to get better at that side, really, is what I would say. FOD becomes a YouTube member. If you would like to become a YouTube member, make sure you click the join button. It's right next to like and subscribe. So please make sure that you hit that. That's got to be done. So big up to you. Where else are we? Suj says, come on, people. 500 here. Let's run up the likes. Big up to you, Suj. I really appreciate that, bro. This comes from Lawrence Emmanuel. It says, why don't we just scrap the January transfer window and go back to the way things were, where there was just one transfer window that started after the season finishes and goes right through to the end of March? Do you know what? I'll be more than happy with any of that. I don't care. Transfer windows for me are just a real stressful period. What I don't want is for it to be open the whole of the season, because I'm going to get stressed enough with the windows that it is. I just think it should start and open on the 1st of June and it should close on the 1st of August. And that's it. And then you open the January transfer window for loans only or free transfers. That's it. I just think that's what it should be, because it's so stressful. It's ridiculous. And I don't like the fact that you start the season potentially playing for 2 clubs. That's what I don't like. Love this from Suj. He's gifted 5 memberships. You guys are legends. Thank you so much, Suj. That is such a nice thing to do. I really appreciate that, mate. Bless you. I really do appreciate it. You are an absolute hero, mate. So thank you so much, mate. And I see you supporting everyone's channel as well. My boy Turkish, you on Saeed's, you with Curtis, you with everyone. So I really appreciate everyone, the support you give to everyone, Suj. I really do, mate. You're a top bloke. So thank you very much. Okay, let's talk about transfers, shall we? Because there is some transfer news that we do need to talk about. Now, there's no breaking news. There's no David Ornstein bombers, as they call them. Is it a bomber? David Ornstein bomber. No, nothing like that, unfortunately. Be nice if there was, though, wouldn't it? Be nice if there was. But no, that's not what's happening. Yeah, look, it's going to be interesting, in my opinion, to see what actually does happen. It really is. So I hope we get someone. I really do. We'll have to see, won't we? Let's talk about some of the transfer news that is in and around Twitter at the moment. I'm not really a massive fan of Twitter, but I do look at AFC stuff because I think it does sort of combine it into the best that it can. Benjamin Sesko, over the last 48 hours, has been mentioned as rumoured to linked with Arsenal. And there's a lot of suggestions that actually he is the one that Arsenal want. We're in talks with Leipzig for Sesko, and Arsenal wants to sign him on loan with a buy option. Leipzig want an obligation. Arteta's already spoken to the player on numerous occasions. That's come from Sam C and other reports as well. And just before I move on from that one, there's also the report from Gunnerblog that says that Sesko remains of interest to Arsenal. His intention has been to finish the season with Leipzig, but the right proposition from the right club could see that position shift. Now, he's clearly the one we want. I think it's clear that Zubimendi, Sesko and Nico Williams are the 3 players Mikel Arteta wants. There's way too many rumours about those 3. And it's only Arsenal rumours, because Zubimendi's now rejected Liverpool and not rejected Manchester City, but Manchester City were another club interested. A lot of people still think he's going to go to Real Madrid. But I will say this about Zubimendi. I'm not too bothered about that one yet, because it's in the summer. I want to concentrate on this season and this window, right? And then I need to look at what this Sesko deal does. Now, Sesko, for me, if this does happen, it's better than absolutely nothing. He's a 21-year-old who I think can go on to be a fairly decent centre forward. But from what I've seen, I've not been impressed. And I couldn't say that he is the elite level that can get us across the line that's ready now. And I want these players to be ready now. Would his goals to game ratio be any different to Kai Havertz? I'm not so sure that it would. I'm not too sure if it would. I think we just have to be realistic about it. So I don't think that Sesko, Nico Williams, and Zubimendi take Arsenal to that next level, if I'm honest. I really don't. Which is why I'm looking at Isak or Gyökeres ahead of Sesko, which is why I'm looking at potentially, instead of Nico Williams, I wanted a Marmoush or maybe even a Lookman, because I just think they're flying. Maybe even Cunha or Brian Mbeumo would be good Premier League proven players. Look, Nico Williams lit up the Euros, and people might be screaming at me now saying, what? You take Nico Williams all day long? Yeah, 100% I'd taken him. But he's not my number one choice. My number one choice was actually Kvaratskhelia, but he's gone now to PSG, which is a shambles, by the way. How did we not put in £63 million for him? Crazy. We either didn't want him or he doesn't want to come and play for Arsenal. One of those two. One of those two. So that's my thoughts on Sesko. I've seen him play for Leipzig a few times. Openda's actually scoring more goals than him. And he didn't get a kick against Celtic the other week when I saw him play. It was absolutely terrible. When I saw him in the Euros, I can't remember who he plays for now. Is it Slovenia? I didn't really feel too much from him. If I'm honest, he didn't really get a kick. So, yeah, I'm not really sure, if I'm honest, that I'm a massive fan of Sesko. But some people are. Kieran Tierney is very close to joining Celtic, according to Fabrizio Romano. I don't know if that is a summer move or a January move. I would suggest that if he's very close, that it probably is going to be a January move. I'm a big fan of Kieran Tierney. I absolutely love Kieran Tierney. I've got so much time for him. I think his time is done, though, now. And I think he needs to move on and enjoy his football and find himself again. He's using him at the moment. He's bringing him on, which I don't think says much for Zinchenko. I don't think we can get rid of both of them this window. And there's rumours that Zinchenko is being linked with Inter Milan and Borussia Dortmund. So maybe we'll hang on to Kieran Tierney, sell Zinchenko for the money and let Kieran Tierney go on a free in the summer. Maybe we'll do something like that. Quite interested to see what happens there. Okay, what's next? We obviously heard the news of Rene. Now, this is the interesting news. Does anybody know who this bloke is? Everyone's already said in the chat, who's Nypan? Who is this guy? Nypan? Does anybody have a clue how to say his name? Real talk. I have absolutely no idea how to say this guy's name. But Arsenal are among the clubs interested in signing Norwegian teenager Nypan, 18 years old. The Telegraph Sport understands that Rosenberg are reported to want around £10 million, and there's suggestions that a decision on the player's future will be made in the coming weeks. Sam J. Dean has reported it. Nypan, how do we say this guy's name? Is it Nye, as in Nye, N-I-Y, Pan? Nypan? Listen, from what I hear, people will say Mini Odegaard, like they're saying in the chat. I do not know anything about this guy. All I do know is if we buy him, cool. But don't make him one of our signings for the January transfer window for us to get excited about, because he's not ready now, is he? You don't buy someone for £10 million at 18 years old and say you've got a young youth project to come in and get the place of Ethan Nwaneri or Odegaard when you're going for a title. Look, a lot of people have said to me, oh, yeah, he's quite a promising talent. But we don't know that, do we? Yeah. The guy looks about 12, to be honest. So he's obviously a young kid. Look, I do think that we've got to get a player in that position. I don't know that another 18-year-old is what we want, though. Because we've got Odegaard and Ethan in that position, right? Yeah, Havertz and Trossard can play there, but they ain't for me. But then you've got to look at, after that, you want Nypan coming in? Nypan? I don't know how you say his name. I have to find out. I should have found out on the old pronunciation app. But if he's going to come in, all good if he's highly rated for £10 million. We could do a lot worse. But he isn't going to be like the one that takes this next level, is he? We're not going to get to that stand. Nypan? No one knows in the chat. No one actually knows. So, yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Can I add a direct membership link? I can't get a membership link in the chat. No, can you not just press join? Should just be able to just press join and then follow the instructions. But I won't be able to do that now, not while I'm live. Sorry, people. Sorry, little Tims. You have to try and work that out, bro. It should be easy though. You just click on join and then it is done. So that's what's needed. Okay, this next done. Arteta on if Arsenal can challenge for the title without signings this month. We've already read through that. He said at the moment we don't have them. We're actively trying to find the best solution. We'll have to wait and see what we can do. The only thing I'll say about this, to touch on this again, is when he says we're actively looking, have they not been actively looking since Christmas? Because they should have been. They should have been. Why are we trying to buy a frying pan to a gunfight? Fair play to you, Tony. I don't know. It's the Arsenal way, my bro. It's the Arsenal way. That's what it is. Make sure you're smashing the likes up, people. There's over 800 of you in here now. That's absolutely mad. So please do me a favor and hit the like button and hit subscribe. And we'll see how many subscribers we can get from that. Another super chat says, I take all W. Says, damn, why hasn't Kivior been sold yet? He's so bad. We don't have any cover, my bro. We can't get rid of Kivior because who the hell would actually cover for us at centre back at the moment? Kivior's the only one that we've got. So I'm sorry, man. Like, I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what it's got. That guy D said members need to sign up on a laptop if it's an iPhone. Thanks for that guy. Legend, my bro. Thank you for that. That's obviously what it is, Lil Tims. You have to get it on the laptop, mate. So yeah, big up to you. Okay, where are we at now? He was also asked, this was about, it's not something he's going to discuss in terms of the profile. We've spoken about that one. Interesting to see who was actually back at training. You've got Kai Havertz, you've got Gabriel, Martinelli, Partey, Trossard, Sterling, Lewis Skelly, Rice, you can see they're all training. Here we've got Jorginho, and we've got Kivior, Trossard, Sterling. Yeah, I can't see no Saliba. Cannot see no Saliba, so he's obviously not taking part in training. So they're going to be looking at getting him ready for the end, aren't they? This was quite an interesting one. This will be, my mum will love this one. She's a big fan of Kai Havertz. Not. Nobody will deem it a successful transfer until there's trophies won, but recent form aside, Kai Havertz has his uses and is a pivotal member of the squad. Now, I do not disagree with that. I think he is a definite squad player. He's just not good enough to start, in my opinion. Not every game as the 9. Let's not forget that only Saka contributed to more goals for Arsenal in 2024 than Kai Havertz. Now, look, I agree with that. I think that's fair to say that, he has scored and he's not been a flop at Arsenal. It's not about that. It's about, for me, looking at the actual recent form. And I just think we need to take him out of the firing line. I really do. I really do. So for me, look, he's a squad player. The front three for me tomorrow, I'll go for my team. Raya in goal, Timber at right back, Lewis Skelly at left back, Saliba and Gabriel at the back. If Saliba's not fit, he has to bring in Kivior. I do not want to see Timber at centre back and Partey at right back. That's definitely not what I don't want to see. In the midfield, Partey, Rice and Odegaard. And then my front three would be Sterling on the right, Martinelli on the left, and Trossard through the middle. And then I'd bring on Kai Havertz to try and win us the game and try to score at least, because that's what I think we need to do now. Take him out the firing line. Let's get him. Let's get him coming on. Yeah, I take all W. Says Partey at right back. If Saliba is out, it will be Partey at right back, Timber at right centre back, and then in midfield it'll be Rice, Marino, and Odegaard. That's what it will be. That's what it will be. So we'll have to see what happens there. There was some more news as well. I think this was what we was gonna talk about. Where are we? Let's try and share the screen. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's get into this. Let's get into this, shall we? Yeah. Okay. So a player that I quite like, a player that I would actually quite like, who is proven in the Premier League, is Bryan Mbeumo. But apparently Thomas Frank has shut down Arsenal's chances of signing Brentford star Bryan Mbeumo, according to the Daily Mirror. Now, look, what I will say is, if the price is right, the price is right. And I think if we was to whack in 50 to 55 million for Bryan Mbeumo, who at the age of 25 would actually be a very, very good signing, I don't think they'd say no to that. I don't think they would. So it's how badly we want him. And again, they're talking about him being a summer move. So I just think there's potential PSR problems with Arsenal. I mean, they've said there's not, but why would we not be going and doing that in the summer? There's a player there that we can get. Why can't we do that in January? Why can't we just get Sesko now? Why don't we just go and spend 84 million on Victor Gyökeres? Why don't we go and get that Nico Williams release clause activated? There's a lot of questions. This is rather exciting. 4 hours ago, Arsenal are ready to splash the cash on the guy I want, Victor Gyökeres, and that's this month, with Arteta admitting the Gunners are actively looking to strengthen their squad. That's come from the Daily Mirror, so don't get too excited. But he's the one that I want. £84 million. Just go and get him. Release clause done. Get him in. He starts in the 9. Havertz becomes a squad player. You keep Trossard, Martinelli, and Sterling, and then 3 rotate. I just don't see this happening. I've just got to be real with you guys. It's the one that I want, but I just don't see it happening. I don't see any solid links. I don't see any concrete talks. There's more links with us, with Sesko and Vlahovic, than there is for, of course, Victor Gyökeres. So we have to make sure that we're in a position to be in with it. But it doesn't look like he's going to. But I actually think he'll stay for the summer and potentially go to Manchester United. It just makes no sense that we're not going in for this guy. No sense at all. What also makes no sense is the fact that we've only got 250 likes and there's nearly 900 of you in here. So please make sure you do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe button, people. Come on. Please do me a favor and hit like and subscribe. I really appreciate every single one of you. But at the moment, you're not doing it with the likes. You're not. You're moving like Spurs, which is Spursy. Let's move like Arsenal, and let's click the like button. And do me a favor, hit the like button if you think we're going to win tomorrow. That's what I would say. Hit the like button if you think we're going to win tomorrow. Okay, let's go through this. Now, you've got Gyökeres there. There's also the Kai Havertz link, which I read out earlier, which I won't go through again. Then there's the news of Zubimendi. Arsenal have agreed personal terms and a huge wage increase with the 25-year-old. So it looks now like this is going to be a done deal for the summer. I'm so stunned that we've actually got this over the line. I'm really happy because I think he's a quality player. The only thing I will say is I really hope that Rice plays alongside him and not in front of him, but I do think he's going to play Rice in the 8. Let me know your thoughts on Zubimendi. Just put in the chat if you just put great signing if you think it's a great signing, put poor signing if you think it's poor, or put not sure. I'll be really interested to get your thoughts on this because I like him. I think he's an excellent DM. I think he's a Xabi Alonso type player. Yeah, there we go. Great signing, great, not sure, no idea about him. Fair. Don't believe if you don't see him holding our shirt down. Big up views. Great signing. Zubimendi's quality. Not so sure. Poor signing. He's not a good player. Not sure. Game changer. Mum doesn't think we'll get him. Aziz said meh. Not too sure. Not too sure. Look at Marino. Great signing. Great signing. Is it happening? Don't know. Is Party going? And that's what I will mention actually. What do we do here now? Because we could have serious strength in depth next season if we had Partey and Jorginho, Rice and Zubimendi. But is that way too many sixes? Because it is in my eyes. I think what I'd be tempted to do now is to bring in Zubimendi and an 8 and get rid of Jorginho. Keep Partey for another year if he wants to stay. If he doesn't, you've got to let him go. But that means you'll have Declan Rice, Partey and Zubimendi, Marino and potentially the other 8. You're stacked in midfield then. Yes, we still need cover for Odegaard, but it looks like Ethan Nwaneri and potentially if this Nypan's going to come in, then we've got a couple of players that are youngsters that can come in and do the business when Odegaard's out. And it looks like Ethan is the guy that Mikel Arteta wants to trust in that position now. So I don't actually think we're going to get a Florian Wirtz or a Musiala or someone crazy like that. I'm not even sure that we're going to go and get a Mohamed Kudus in that kind of position. I think he's going to trust Ethan, if I'm honest. Might be that's why we're looking at Nypan, so we can actually have a bit of competition with Ethan for that place. Be interesting. It really will. There's a lot of reports yesterday saying that we want to sign a centre forward, and these are the 3 players that are linked: Sesko, Gyökeres, and Vlahovic. Put in the chat, who do you want? I'll tell you what, don't put it in the chat. I'll do a poll. Let's do a poll. Who do you want up top? Gyökeres, who would be my choice. Sesko. Oops. Spell it wrong. Or Vlahovic, who we're going to talk about next. Start poll. A lot of people will put it in the chat already, but start a poll now. Just see. See what you think. Who would you like up top? Everyone's putting Gyökeres. Surprise. I knew it would be. Absolutely. Of course it is. That's the one that I'd want. Absolutely it would be. Let's look at Gyökeres' stats first, shall we? Let's look at Gyökeres' stats. Okay, let's stop sharing that and let's look at the stats of the 3 of them. That's what I want to do now. I want to look at the stats of all three of them and let's see where we're at. Because everyone wants Gyökeres. I want Gyökeres as well. So let's look at what we're dealing with out of the three players here. Big up to Lil Tim's, by the way. He's worked it out. Legend. You're a new member. Big up, bro. Make sure you hit the like button, people. Make sure you subscribed. Should easily be on 400 likes now. We're only on 300, just over. So let's get that up to 400 people. All we got to do is click the like button. Click one button and then two buttons, which is subscribe. Like, subscribe. Like, subscribe. Big up to you, Lil Tim. Suj says, I don't see any big name signings, but instead of Sesko, I'd go for Lookman, Gyökeres, or Openda. I'd love Zubimendi, but I'm not sure it will happen. I'm not sure any of them will happen at the moment, Suj, if I'm honest. We keep being linked, but nothing really is happening. There's no solid concrete talks. So we've got to do something, man. We've absolutely got to do something. Ash says like and subscribe, people. Yeah, big up to you, Ash. Make sure that you've done that, please, people. Really appreciate that. Right, let's share, shall we? Let's go through the stats of Victor Gyökeres. Let's look at them. So his stats right now at Sporting, in the Taca da Liga, which I think is like a little cup thing, he scored 3 goals in 2, and this season he's got 4 goals in 3. So pretty phenomenal. This season at Sporting Lisbon, he's got 21 goals in just 17 games and 2 assists. So he's got 23 goals and assists in just 17 games. That's phenomenal. Last season, he got 29 goals and 10 assists. That's 39 goals and assists in just 33 games. In the Champions League this season, he scored 5 goals in 6 matches with 1 assist. So he's got 6 GA in 6. This is the guy, man. This is the guy. Last season in the Europa League, 7 goals and assists in just 9 matches. This is the guy. It is the guy. For Sweden, he's got 3 goals already. For Coventry, we know what he did. Look, 17 goals, 21 goals, 12 assists. That put him to the playoff final. And then when he was at Swansea and Brighton as a youngster, he hardly got any minutes. Look, he scored 1 goal and 1 assist in just 3. And that was in the cup games. So it wasn't really until the Coventry situation, then moving to Sporting, that he's been killing it. He's the one I want. He is the one that I want, people. He's the one I want. Anyway, let's look at Benjamin Sesko, because I genuinely don't know how he's been getting on, but I'm kind of want to see. Let's look at Benjamin Sesko, shall we? Sesko's stats for Leipzig. Last season, he got 14 goals in 31 games, which is just under 1 every 2 games. 2 assists. This season, he's got 8 goals in just 17 games, which is pretty good, and 2 assists. That is actually very good. To be fair, he's got 10 goals and assists in 17. That's pretty good. In the Champions League, he's got 3 goals in 6 games. Last season, 2 goals in 8 games. And in the cup games, he's got 2 goals in the 2 games he's played. So again, he does score goals, but I don't think his record is anything more than what Kai Havertz has got, to be fair. So that's Sesko. And then now let's have a look at Vlahovic, because Vlahovic's stats are pretty okay, but then most of them were in Fiorentina. So let's start with the Fiorentina stats. Where are we? Here we go. So for Fiorentina, when I wanted him in COVID time, it's because he scored 21 goals in 37 games. The season after that, he scored 17 goals in just 21 games, right? Couple of assists either side of that. For Serbia, he hasn't really done too much, to be fair, for his country. He scored a couple of goals here and there. And then for Juventus in Serie A, he's had 4 seasons there. He got 7 in 15, which is 1 every 2 games pretty much. 10 goals in 27. So, yeah, not too bad, but not great. 16 goals in 33. That's kind of 1 every other 2 as well. And likewise, 7 goals in 16. So he is really 1 every 2 games. And at the moment, Havertz is basically like that. From the back end of January to now, Havertz actually does have, I think, goals to game ratios of 1 every 2 games. No more than 2 and a bit games. So very, very similar. The one that I don't know why we're not linked with is Victor Osimhen. We clearly just don't want him, but we could definitely get him. That's one that would be an absolute no-brainer for me. If we can't get Isak, no. We can't get Gyökeres, doesn't look like it. We want Sesko or Vlahovic. What, ahead of Osimhen? Why? Dovbyk as well. Another good shout, Lil Tim's. Another good shout. So, are any of these strikers going to take Arsenal across the line this season? Or have we just got to a stage where we're potentially so desperate that we just need a body to come in? And I understand why people say, I'll wait till the summer because we'll get a proper signing in. But will we? Who? Who's coming in? That's what I don't get. I don't actually know that there is someone coming in. That's the problem I've got. It's a madness, to be fair. Absolute madness. So I have to see, won't we? I'll have to see. Let's go through some of the latest transfer news away from Arsenal. At the moment, the poll suggests that Gyökeres is the guy that you want up top. 75% of the vote, 14% say Sesko, and only 11% say Vlahovic. So that is only 11%, 10% of you. There we go. Listen, people, great opportunity to promote this again. Let's get the QR code scanned and let's see you at this event next Friday. We're going to be live at the Hippodrome Casino. It's going to be a great opportunity for you to meet myself, Lee Judges, Sophie Nicolau from the Hybrid Squad will be there, and the panel will be This Is London from this channel. It is not being live streamed on YouTube, so you will have to come and see us live and exclusively at the Hippodrome Casino, where there'll be a panel debate. Myself, Deji, Dan, Lawless, Don, and Deji will all be there talking all things This Is London. So please make sure you're there. There'll be great prizes and opportunities to win on the night as well. And Lee Judges will be there in the house. If you've not met Lee, he's a good old boy. So you, I'm sure, love to come and see him. Scan the QR code or click on the Eventbrite link in the description for you to sign up. It will be a ticketed only event. You can't just rock up for obvious reasons, because we don't know who's going to turn up otherwise. So please make sure that you do get a ticket. Click the link in the description, people. There we go. Big up to you. Big up to you. Right. Let's do a little bit of transfer news away from Arsenal before we do come to a close. I do like to see what's going on in the other clubs, not just in England, but around the world. It looks like Alphonso Davies is set to extend his contract at Bayern Munich. I can't believe that. I cannot believe that. I thought he was going Real Madrid on a free. Can you believe he's doing that? That is absolutely mad. Real Madrid are not planning on letting Arda Güler leave the club either on loan or permanent basis. That was a player that I think a couple of Arsenal fans wanted. Do you know what? I love this picture. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This was why I loved football. Look at that. Look at that. That is what you call legends of the game. Every single one of them. That trophy cabinet. Wow. I'm sorry. If you did the same now, right, from 2020 onwards, you would struggle, to get anyone who might even one day be as good as some of these people. That is, where has the talent gone? There's nobody like Thierry Henry. I don't think there's anyone like Raul at the moment. Messi, Giggs, Pirlo, Ronaldo, Beckham, Kaká, Drogba, Gerrard, Ibra, R9, Roberto Carlos, Xavi. The list goes on, man. Philip Lahm, Rooney, Ronaldinho. We've got Lampard, Buffon, Puyol, Iniesta, Totti, Zidane. Come on, man. That's just mad. That's just ridiculous. That really is absolutely crazy. Oh. You can only pick one in their prime. Who was better? Who are we going for? Gerrard or KDB in their prime? Who are we going for? Who are we going for, people? If you could only pick one, who would you go for? Wow. That is very, 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 very tough. I think I'll go with... that's so hard. That is so hard, man. I'm going to go KDB because his passing was just ridiculous. His assists were a joke. And look at what he's won. Leagues, titles, it says it all. Gerrard, Champions League and FA Cups, League Cups, but I've got to be honest, he should have won more at Liverpool. He should have gone to a team that, well, I shouldn't have gone to a team. He stayed at Liverpool doing the right decision, but he could have gone to another team and won more. So I'll go KDB. But that's very, very hard. Very, 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 very hard. It really is. Big games for Gerrard was outstanding, though, I've got to say that. Jay, big up to you, my bro. New member as well. Thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate that. And big up to you. I'm sorry I didn't catch you at the Emirates, mate. I definitely will. Hopefully on Saturday. If not, then we'll catch up another time, my bro. But big up to you, mate. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit the likes and subscribe, people. Make sure you do. Yamal is a baller, Dan. Best in the world. Do you know what? I think he probably is the best winger in the world right now. I think Salah's the one that people will talk about. But I've got to look at Lamine Yamal. And Rafinha at the moment is on absolute fire. Big up to you, Shaitanya. I can't joke about this because I can't have it be true. Garnacho linked to Chelsea. If it happens, he flops 2 years. I can see Arteta signing him. Oh, don't say that. Do you know what? It looks like he's going Napoli from what I can hear, but I just want him to go to Chelsea because it'd be bloody hilarious. Don absolutely hates him as well, so it'd be really funny if he went there. It really, really would be quite funny. So that's where we're at. Look, where are we? Who's spamming? Who's spamming? Yeah. TT, please don't spam. No Saliba tomorrow yet. We get the picture. We get the picture, mate. Potentially he might be out. Yes, we did mention that. Last couple of bits before we come to a close. Yeah, Bayern Munich edging closer to agreement with Alphonso Davies. I cannot believe that. I really cannot believe. I can't believe this either. PSG have announced a signing of Kvaratskhelia. How have we let Kvaratskhelia go there? How have Arsenal done that? I wish we were a serious club sometimes. I really do. Gundogan's considering leaving Man City. Yeah, it has not worked out for him there at all, is it? Chilwell's a transfer target for West Ham. Some people are saying he's linked with Arsenal. I can't believe we'd be linked with him. Madrid are expected to sign Alphonso Davies on a free transfer this summer. See, that was 2 hours ago. Now all of a sudden he's staying. Must have offered him some big bucks. And Nkunku on a 6-month loan from Barcelona. Frenchman's emerging alternative to Marcus Rashford. Yeah, where's Rashford going to end up? Oh my God, Man United are front runners, genuine front runners for Darwin Núñez. That's not happening. No chance. Thomas Franks shut down. And when we mentioned that, oh yes, RIP to Dennis Law. Sadly passed away at the age of 84. Legend of the game. Yeah, that's an understatement. That was really sad when I heard that earlier. A lot of United fans would be really sad about that. Real Madrid are already drafting next season's lineup and have made contact with Arsenal star William Saliba's reps. There we go. He's going to be wanted by Madrid soon. I don't think he's going to go this summer, but if we don't win something this season or next, I think he'll go the season after. I really do. Which is mad. So don't want to be losing him. That's for sure. Everton attempt to cut short Brower's loan. Can you believe that he's actually at Everton? I didn't even know he was there. Wow. That's how bad he's been. Arsenal ready to splash the cash on Victor Gyökeres. I'm not sure. We did mention that. I'm not sure that's going to happen. Chelsea are in talks to sign Adeyemi this summer, though. That'll be. Ait Nouri to Manchester United. I actually rate Ait Nouri. I think he's a very good player. And Musiala is very close to signing a new deal at Bayern Munich. That doesn't make any shock to me. I think he'll stay. And what's mad is if I said to you now, Florian Wirtz, where's he playing? I bet he goes Bayern Munich as well. That's what happens at Bayern Munich. That's why they won 11 in a row. I think, who was it who called them the Yellow Tottenham, Borussia Dortmund? It's like Lewandowski, yeah, you come here and then we'll get you, Mario Götze, and we'll get you. I think there's only Marco Reus that stayed there. Everyone else is gone, haven't they, from those days? Remember when they had a really good team, Dortmund? They've had some good players from Dortmund, yeah. We signed Jens Lehmann from Dortmund and Thomas Rosicky. They've had Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan. They've had Gundogan, Mario Götze, Marco Reus, Lewandowski. Who else have they had at Dortmund? Unbelievable players. Yeah, they've had some really... Haaland, Sancho, Bellingham. It's crazy, isn't it, Dortmund? I love Dortmund. They're my German team, man. If I had to pick one German team, it would be them. 100% it would. Okay, people. Look, we're going to leave it there. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. What likes we on at the moment, people? We're on 361. Let's get that up to 500 likes. We can get 500 likes. There's almost 800 of you still in here. We can easily get that, right? Make sure we do that. Make sure you scan the QR code for here as well. Make sure you click on the link in the description. Make sure you check out Reality Raffles as well. And you're following them on socials because they're going to come out with a new prize next week. So, yeah, I think that's all the admin for the end of the show, people. Look, is there anyone live I can redirect you to? Who's live? Who do you want me to send you to? Who's actually live at the moment? Let's see. Let's see who's live. Anyone? We got Hassam live. Let's go to Hassam. Would you rather go to Hassam for Liverpool, or do you want flawless sarcasm City? Hassam, you want Hassam? Okay, cool. Let's send you over to Hassam then. Hassam's got a Liverpool chat. Go spam the chat, yeah. Go spam the chat and say 12th man sent me or Dan Pot sent me. And do the does he put camels in trees in it, Hassam? Put a load of camels in trees. Just say camels in trees. Dan Pot sent me. Dan Pot sent me. Just say that. Let's do that quickly now. Let's get you redirected over there. Let's do that, people. And yeah, I will be back tomorrow after the Arsenal game. So there'll be content going over there afterwards. So probably be me and Lee. It'll definitely be me on here as well. So definitely got to do that. People, we're getting out of here. Go spam Hussam's chat. Go say Dan Potts sent me. Go say 12th man raid, Dan Potts raid. And then go and make sure that you do this. Leopards in trees. Leopards in trees. That's what we want to be seeing. Big up. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time. We're out of here. Big up.